Okay, bro, I mean, for real. Come on, look at this. Okay, this is another bike check video. This is my latest creation, like, in a way. And come on, bro, check this out. I mean, for real, this is fucking insane. All right, I'm just like so thrilled. I think you can fucking hear it like through the tone of my voice, but this is one of my finest creations. And it took a while to make it because it was, well, a complicated process, but the result is, oh my God, Jesus. And well, fuck it, this is amazing. Now let's have a look at all the details and to explain what is just so cool and so awesome about this bike. So, well, let's begin with the frame. The frame is a weapon, which is actually the track name of the Tsunami brand. The brand, I think it's a Chinese brand. So Tsunami bikes, and weapon is their track bike line, if you will. So that's a weapon frame. This is kind of like, so that's, how does it look? Looks like titanium, but no, that's a steel frame, but with like that titanium finish, which I love. And all the welds are like super clean. This is excellent quality all the way. Okay, that's its name, the TC05. And this is a steel frame, but this is one of the lightest steel frame they have, with like a massive kind of triangular tube, which is actually quite rare for steel frames, and I fucking love it. It's a tapered headset, right? And so yeah, it looks stunning, looks like titanium. This is what I wanted. And it's actually quite light for a steel frame. Yeah, by the way, just straight up, like the weight of the build of all of it, just without the pedals, just because I weigh all my bike without the pedals. So without the pedals, this is 7.5 kilos, which is just nuts for kind of a TrackloCross fixie with a steel frame. But this is thanks mostly to the carbon wheels that I'll get to in a minute. So the weapon frame looks awesome. There was a fork with it, but the fork could only get like 32C tires. And these babies, man, these are, and this is what I wanted from the get-go, like some sort of like TrackloCross, urban TrackloCross, like light and fast. And these are the Continental GP Urban in 35, which are basically like pretty much like the GP 5000, just with more protection for punctures. So just a tiny bit heavier, and not exactly as fast, but almost, because this is the black chili compound. And so these are like super fast urban tires with an excellent puncture protection, and they look awesome with that brown sidewall, which is called coffee. And so, well, they look amazing. And in 35, this is what I wanted from the get-go, like, you know, like big chunky urban tires. And the initial fork was just too narrow. I mean, it was room for just 32. It was too narrow, especially since these 35, they actually measure 36 because of the rim. I'll get to that in a minute. So I needed to get a new fork, which I did. And this is like a gravel fork, all right? You can see like with the thing when you can put like the bottles or whatever. I'm not gonna do this, but I needed like a through, not a through axle, but a quick release. So I needed like a carbon fork with the thing for a quick release. It was pretty hard to find, but I finally found it. And there's a room for 45C, as you can see. There's still plenty of room in the front. But in the back, it's just enough, right? Because initially the frame is supposed to be like okay for 34C tires, but I knew that there was more room than just for 34, so I took a bet. And yeah, as you can see, even the 36, they fit. It's narrow, but that's okay. And so yeah, this GP 5000, no, this GP Urban, they're awesome for urban riding. So if you can get them, like get them. They are for city tires. They're light and they're super fast and excellent wet grip and puncture protection. Highly recommend. If you can fit those 35C tires, go for it. GP Urban, they're not very famous, but they're awesome and they look phenomenal. By the way, there's also like this is actually some sort of reflective line. So like when you get in the dark and you have the lights of the cars, it shines like crazy, right? So that's a cool thing, typical of city tires. So now we could talk about the wheels which have been built. Once again, this is very specific, like unique build. I just want to show this before I forget. I mean, silver quick release, bro. Looks awesome with the silver hubs. And in the back, once again, the RAL CE silver track hub, which I love so much. This time laced with black spokes, because I wanted some sort of a contrast with black and silver, and not silver spokes. I like the combination of the black spokes with the silver hub. And these babies are laced to carbon rims. In the front, you get a 40 mil, 30 wide, which is super wide for like carbon rims with a braking surface, because this is like, as you can see, of course, for rim brakes, and so 30C, like 30 millimeter wide, external wide carbon rims. So this is very rare. I found them. I was so happy. And I think it's 24 internal. That's why those babies are 36 when they inflate, because internally it's 24 and 30 external, which is super wide, and which is exactly what I wanted. I love those rims. Super light too. They're like 120 grams, I think. Those carbon rims, great stuff. And so 40 in the front and 45 in the back. The tiny difference. It's almost, you cannot see it. Like if you step back, it's hard to notice, but it's there, and I like it. It's a tiny detail. No reason, just other than why the fuck not, right? There's also a braking surface on that one, but I'm not gonna put a brake on that one ever. Okay, so these are great wheels. I love them. Super light wheels, carbon wheels, over the top. But yeah, for commuting, that's a bit insane, but hey, well, that's how it is. Inside these, I put some TPU gravel tubes because, well, that's a 36, and I put some 45 grams TPU gravel tubes inside just to shave some weight. So that these are the wheels which I love. The cog in the back, we've got a 17 teeth with a 49. And well, let's begin with the black cog, and let's begin with that chain. This is unique. This is basically like a super light track chain. This is like the KMC K1 SL, which I've put on several other bikes. But this one is not a KMC because it has that rainbow oil slick finish, which, look at this, for fuck's sake. And it looks great. And the only brand doing these, like the combination of a light track chain with this oil slick finish, is Dartmoor, which is, I think, a brand making chains and BMX stuff from Eastern Europe. So that chain is absolutely unique. I've never seen any. It was hard to find, but I was able to find it, and it's just the perfect combination. And one of the most awesome part of that bike is, of course, that crankset, the timeless classic SRAM Omnium with that amazing Raketa chainring that I had lying around. I wasn't using that chainring because it was on the first build of my Scream doomed track bike, if you remember. So, and I switched to the black version in 52 teeth, and this is a 49, and I had it, and I just couldn't. I mean, I had the crankset, I had the chainring, and I was like, I need a new bike, because the combination of those two, I mean, honestly, it's phenomenal, and I could not just sell them. I could not just not use them. So to be honest, just these two together, that was the raison d'etre for building that new bike. I mean, I had to build a new bike with that combination. And those pedals are straight out AliExpress, super light CNC with like some sort of a titanium shaft and a ridiculous like carbon part there. But they're super light actually, and they look fucking awesome with that titanium finish. Goes well with the rest of the bike. Then we move on to the seat post, which was given with the frame set nicely by a Weapon, aka Tsunami Bikes. And on that, which is super light, and it looks really nice in matte, UD matte, because this just goes well, of course, with the fork. And on top of that, there is one of these like 3D printed seat saddle. Oh god, yeah. So 3D printed saddle. This one with carbon rails. All right. So that's the real deal. and with a carbon shell and 3D printed. What I love about that saddle is how short it is. That's a short nose saddle with the wide in the back, and as you can see, that's a GUB, like 3D printed saddle. GUB Gub is actually making a lot of components again from AliExpress, and again super affordable. That saddle, which is really great and looks phenomenal, I think it was like 60 bucks, and it's like 150 grams, which is as light, if not lighter, than some like big brands. So why would you spend like 400 bucks on a saddle when you can get like pretty much honestly the equivalent from AliExpress and with a brand such as Gub? I mean, come on, go for it, right? It looks awesome. That saddle is really looks awesome. Looks so cool. And now the final part, the cockpit. So again, this is something I had lying around that I was not using, the Zip Service Course SL in 11 centimeters, 111, all black on black. So with the black spacers, and on it I put like a proper that's a real titanium, proper titanium flat bars that again I was not using, that I had lying around, that I used on my initial TrackloCross build. So I had to use it again. I mean, it was obvious that I had that lying around, like I said, the crankset and the chainring. I mean, come on, I had to build a bike with this. Again, with the spur cycle, with the titanium finish, like bronze, and it looks just so phenomenal with that handlebars. It's a bit narrow. I mean, it's 60. I wish it was wider than that, but that's what I had left. I wasn't going to pay for a new one. What I love also are the grips. As you can see, these are like fabric grips, and I love the fact that they are see-through and that you can see like the titanium bars through it. This is just awesome. I mean, honestly, this looks so cool. And these are very light, by the way, very light grips as well. And to finish, we've got the pole components, brake lever that I had again on the first TrackloCross, but it was just too good to be not to be used on that build. So I took them away from the other bike and I put them on that one. And of course, it's a match made in heaven. This is a great combination with all the rest of the bike, with of course silver hose, because we have to do things correctly. And the as you can see, the again, that I had those brakes lying around, not using them, that I had put on the first build of the Scream Ranger. If you remember, that before putting these brakes on it, I used that one, which are like with a long reach. So again, perfect for that build. And so basically half of the bike was just parts that I had lying around and not using, and I had just needed basically a frame and wheels, and this is what I did. It was a bit complicated because the initial fork, like I said, was too narrow for 35C, and it was complicated. So I had to find a gravel fork, but with the quick release, as you saw. And then we had to make the hole in the back bigger because it was too narrow for the screw. Well, never mind, that was just a bit complicated, but that's the result. It took me, that was a long project, took me a month to get to the result, to assemble everything and to have everything, but Jesus, like the final result is just, honestly, in my opinion, mind-blowing. This is my 12th bike. This is a bit too much, I know, but I mean, come on. This is just sublime. It was worth it. It was worth all the effort and the time spent, like finding the parts, putting them together, and yeah, that's it. That's the name. Its name is just 12, and that's my urban TrackloCross super light, sexy as shit commuter. I hope you've enjoyed the video. It's, as usual, longer than I thought. I don't think anyone's watching at that point, unless you're a huge fan of Dream Build and Fixie bikes. But well, that's it. That's my number 12. See you in the next one.